Britain and Australia have agreed the broad terms of a trade deal that is expected to become a model for Britain's post-Brexit commercial policy. Prime Minister Boris Johnson and his Australian counterpart Scott Morrison signed off the in-principle agreement on Monday evening. The deal will eliminate tariffs on UK goods, but with a 15-year transition period and quotas. Liberalisation of some products, such as cheese, will be staged to help the agriculture market's transition. UK cheese exports to Australia currently face tariffs of up to 20%. East Midlands producer Bradbury Cheese estimated they could add around $1.5 million £1.060 million to the nearly $3 million £2.1 million of cheese it already sells to Australia with a tariff-free deal. Cheese is something Ms. Truss holds dearly, and in a recent column, Flora Hutchings, head of external affairs at Best for Britain, explained why the International Trade Secretary is right to do so. In October, Ms. Truss presented Japanese Foreign Minister Toshimitsu Motegi with a jar of British Stilton cheese to go along with the signing of the UK-Japan trade deal. The cheese became emblematic in negotiations, and Mr. Motegi's staff even gave him some for his birthday after Ms. Truss wrangled special access for the blue variety and other British cheese, pushing the deal slightly further than what Japan had agreed in its treaty with the EU. Back in 2014, Ms. Truss gave an infamous speech to the Conservative Party conference in which she highlighted the disgrace of Britain importing two-thirds of its cheese. She said at the time, "Our exports have increased by more than £1 billion in the past 4 years. And the results are superb. We are growing wheat more competitively than the Canadian prairies. We are producing more varieties of cheese than the French. And we are even selling tea to China, Yorkshire tea. When it comes to British food and drink, we have never had it so good. As well as exporting our fantastic food abroad, I want to see more British food sold in Britain. Two-thirds of the apples and 9/10 of the pears that we eat are imported. Not to mention two-thirds of the cheese. And that is a disgrace." It was the manner of her delivery rather than the message which landed her on "Have I got news for you?" as according to Ms. Hutchings, she did have a point. Ms. Hutchings explained in a recent column for Best for Britain, globally, the trade in cheese was worth a cheddary sniff under £25 billion last year. Now, that's not exactly challenging the automotive or aerospace sectors in terms of scale, but there's good business to be done. In 2018, UK cheese exports reached a record £665 million, making us one of the top 10 global cheese giants. Last year, we slipped back to 11th place in that table but still grew our exports to almost £708 million, making cheese our fourth biggest food export after whiskey, salmon and chocolate. In short, although it's all too easy to mock, cheese is big business if you're in the food game. Ms. Hutchings noted trade, of course, is a two-way process, and while Britain may export a lot of cheese, it does import even more. By one calculation, the UK's cheese trade deficit, how much more the UK imports than exports, is pretty much world-beating at £1 billion. She added, "We need Liz Truss and her team to land a Japanese trade deal, one that covers cars and cheese just like the EU arrangement we're walking away from. But we also, desperately, need a trade deal that covers cars and cheese and a whole lot more besides with our biggest trading partner, the one just over the sea. Because one thing is for sure, we cannot have our cheese and eat it."